Hello, it's Hiền Nguyễn from AT Consulting. So today I'm back with continue the topic of Vietnam capital market. In the previous two videos, I already shared with you the overview of Vietnam capital market and also the Vietnam banking market, credit market. Today I am going to continue and share with you the Vietnam equity market in more details. If you are looking to do business or investment in Vietnam, this is the right place for you. Let's dive into. So, before we go into the more details of the Vietnam equity market, let's look at the Vietnam equity market overview that I shared with you last time. If you already saw this, you can skip this section and go ahead with the next section, okay? So let's look into the equity market briefly, okay? The equity market has increased dramatically over the last 20 years. The number of listings, the total capitalization of listed companies also increased dramatically, especially over the last 10 years, okay? It's increased more than 5-fold in measure of GDP, okay, rising from only 15% of GDP in 2004 to nearly 86% of GDP in early 2022. The stock market capitalization over the GDP has also increased dramatically, impressively over the last 10 years using the USD with neutralization in the inflation measurement. Now, at the moment, the stock market cap is around 55% of GDP in the US dollar. Despite such a high growth rate, the relative size of Vietnam's stock market is still much smaller than that of other economies. For example, in 2020, Vietnam market cap was only around in mid-70% of the GDP, and that of the ASEAN 5 was already 105% of the GDP, and the world average was 93% of the GDP. The quality of the Vietnam equity sector has also been improving constantly over the last 20 years. In terms of scale, Vietnam's stock market has grown apace since its establishment in 2000. In the first trading session, there were only 2 listed companies, as I already mentioned to you, whereas by 2006, the number of the companies listed on the stock market has risen to over 200 companies, and the figure now is already around 1,600 firms. The market capitalization also grown significantly and very fast. The figure for 2000 was only around 980 billion dong, accounting for less than 0.3% of the GDP. The first trading session on Ho Chi Minh City Stock Trading Center took place on 28 July 2000, with only 2 tickers, RE and SAM, at a total capitalization of only 270 billion Vietnam dong. By the end of 2000, only 5 companies were listed, with a total of 32 million shares. At the end of 2005, total companies listed on both floors were 41 companies, and 32 companies were on the Ho Chi Minh City Stock Trading Center. By the end of 2020, market cap had increased by 21% compared to 2019, reaching 5,200 300 trillion Vietnam dong, equivalent to almost 88% of GDP in 2019 and 84% of GDP of 2020. So just 20 years later, from zero to this big figure. In the end of December 2021, the stock market cap value at wholesaleใน Ho Chi Minh City Stock Exchange Center reached more than 5,800 trillion Vietnam dong at top of the market so far, equivalent to 93% of 2020 GDP, and compared to increase 43% compared to the end of 2020. The market cap then went into correction since. So at the moment, the market cap is around 5,400 trillion Vietnam dong. In recent years, there is a restructuring in the securities market. Hence, the number of the listed tickers has not increased but also declined slightly. However, the quality of the market is getting much better. The market cap has increased along with tremendous increase of the volume as well, as you see from this chart. Only after over 3 years, volume rises almost 6-fold. Market cap also increased over 30% despite the reduction in the listed stocks. The total number of listed shares over time registered for trading in 2001 was only 52,000 shares, which grew to 142 million shares in June 2020, as you see in the figure, an increase of more than 2,700 times. Even though product quantity has increased rapidly, product quality and diversification still need further improvement. Among the 1,723 stocks and fund certificates listed on the market at the moment, many are inefficient and small. Vietnam has a very good long-term potential returns. In terms of long-term, Vietnam is still expected to have much higher growth rate compared to the world average. If you want to look at the macro figure and macro environment of Vietnam, you can look into my other video that I discuss about that in deep. In compared to the companies in the region, Vietnam is in a high return on equity position, while the valuation is still at a much more attractive position. As you see here, the PE is in the very attractive position, while the return on equity is still high on the high plot compared to the regional average. So this market is considered an attractive equity investment destination. The number of investors participating in the market has rapidly increased as well. In 2000, there were only approximately 3,000 investment accounts. More than 99% of them belonged to individual investors. By August 2020, the number of investment accounts was 2,500,000 accounts, 820 times higher than the 2000 figure, of which 16,000 accounts belong to institutional investors. By August 2021, the total number of the trading accounts of domestic investors has exceeded 4.2 million accounts, equivalent to about 4.3% of the population. Of course, not that 4.3% of the population do the investment trading. Maybe many investors have multiple accounts. 2022 to 2023, we observe the most growth in the domestic investor accounts, almost double the total accounts over the last 2 years only. By the end of August 2023, the total number of trading accounts of domestic investors had exceeded 7.6 million accounts, equivalent to about 800% of the population. And so, of course, as I said, not 8% of the population do the investment of the stock market. It's just nice. There are people who open multiple accounts. Over 15,600 accounts belong to institutional investors. The value of equity trading on the stock markets was equivalent to 20% of GDP in 2020, which was twice the level of 2008 and higher than levels of Indonesia and Philippines. Here you see the figure, but still far from other countries in the region. Let's look into the foreign investors. In 2015, to attract foreign capital to the market, the Vietnamese government issued Decree number 60 in 2015, the circular number 123/2015, regulating foreign investment activities in the securities. Accordingly, foreign ownership in the Vietnamese publicly listed companies has accelerated to meet international integration commitments and practices. As a result, the number of foreign investors has grown by 15% per year since 2015, higher than the 10% growth average rate in the investment accounts in the stock market during the 2015 to 2021. By August 2020, the number of foreign investment accounts reached 33,000 accounts, accounting for 1.3% of total number of the investors on the stock market. As at the end of the August 2023, the number of foreign investment accounts reached 44,431 accounts, accounting for 0.6% of the total number of the investors on the stock market. 4,488 accounts are from institutions. 39,943 accounts are individual investors. Information technology, IT, and databases in Vietnam equity system have developed significantly over the last decades as well. From the primitive IT infrastructure system, Vietnam has built and adopted a relatively complete IT infrastructure, ensuring safety and security for its securities markets. Early warning systems have been built to help improve the regulation and the supervision of the capital markets to protect investors. In particular, the information disclosure system for publicly listed companies to report and publish electronic information has gradually replaced the paper-based one. Moreover, IT systems used more supervising market institutions, such as the Securities Company Management Database System, are becoming increasingly important tools over time. Currently, all market members report and publish information on the SSC's web portal directly using the IT system. The future benefits from upgrading to emerging market from the frontier market classification. Chairwoman of State Securities Commission of Vietnam, SSC, Vũ Thị Trân Phương, said that upgrading the status of the stock market is one of the major targets of the government at the moment. The country hopes to obtain the emerging market status before 2025. According to Ms. Phương, in terms of the legal framework, the 2019 Securities Law, the 2020 Investment Law, the 2020 Law of Enterprises, and the documents guiding this enforcement have created optimal conditions for investment flows, facilitated access to information in English as well as legislation on opening accounts of investors, and enhanced market transparency, thus largely meeting the criteria for market upgrade. According to the estimates of the International Monetary Fund, the classification of stock market influences approximately around 70% of the capital allocations decisions in securities. Hence, the upgrade will greatly benefit the domestic market. The IMF also estimates that it is expected to attract net foreign capital inflows of approximately $7.2 billion per year into Vietnam after being upgraded into the emerging markets, while simultaneously helping the improve share valuation, thereby also positively affecting the acquisition and the divestment of state-owned enterprises. It is also claimed by the World Bank that moving from the marginal market to an emerging market will result in a more diverse investor base. On the other hand, it will also encourage more foreign investors to invest in the domestic market. They also estimate that when upgrade to the emerging markets also attract around $1 billion alone for the passive funds. According to major international rating agencies and financial institutions, the country has made improvements and satisfied many important criteria. However, there are two issues still need major improvements in support of foreign investors. First one is pre-funding requirement. The second one is foreign ownership limited, both of which require practical coordination among stakeholders such as State Bank of Vietnam and Ministry of Planning and Investment. There are still many potential risks on the Vietnamese stock market which investors must be aware of and which can affect investors' faith in the corporations. This figure shows that over the period of 2010 to 2019, violations related to the disclosure of false information accounted for the largest proportion of incidences of stock manipulation, and the number of cases per year consistently increased throughout this period. To be precise, the figures for violations started at less than 60 cases per year between 2010 to 2016, after which we saw a significant growth to 199 cases and also 325 cases in 2017 and 2019. So this period saw the biggest violation cases. In addition, the Vietnamese stock market also experienced a number of other financial crimes, such as fake documents, stock price manipulation, and internal transactions. Recently, there have been serious cases of stock price manipulation at FLC, GVS Securities Joint Stock Company, Lotus Holding Joint Stock Company, and also insider trading at SKG. As I have shown you before, the market has been under improvement in the last 3 years on all these issues. And the government took actions on these matters, but we still need more improvement to see if Vietnam could get into the emerging market classification or not. I think that all of this will continue to improve significantly for the market to be able to expand from the frontier market classification to emerging market classification. So in the coming time, especially the next 2 years, we will see a lot more improvement in the stock market. I think in the next 2 years, we will see more efforts from the government to put into the stock market in order to get the market to obtain its classification to the emerging market. So that is the video for today. I hope you gain some insights from it. And if you haven't looked at my previous video about the banking credit market, please also look into it. And in the next video about this series, I will discuss about the bond market. Please also subscribe to my channel, so the new video coming out, you can get to watch it. Have a nice day.
To be a good investor, from my own experience, following are the first important steps you need to do. 1. Prepare yourself by learning investment knowledge through reading investment, financial and accounting books from famous and successful investors. 2. Apply and practice your learning and find the best strategy that works for you. 3. Before you find the best strategy that you can make successful investment, diversify your investment portfolio and do not put all the eggs in one basket. Remember, no successes come without failures and pains. So training yourself to practice patience is very important. I hope you get some insights and learn something new from this video. Please subscribe my channel for more future videos.